Let me introduce myself. My name is Ludmila Yamukova. I'm the head of the Avineuro project. Avineuro is part of ChemRar group. We are involved in developing novelty medications for treating neurology and psychiatry disorders. One of our advanced medications is AVN-101 for treating Alzheimer disease and anxiety. This drug has very good properties. We are now finalizing the second phase studies. We plan to launch it to the market in 2023. Let me continue with a detailed description of this drug. It's a novel multimodal drug candidate. Molecules with a very high specificities affect adrenaline and serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. Here we show the NET of the drug, and it has an affinity which is much higher than its competitors. In the preclinical studies, during the proof of concept in animals, we showed very good memory recognition enhancing effect. We have completed the preclinical studies, phase 1B. We have proven the safety and pharmacokinetics of the drug, and we have published this drug in the international journals. In 2019, we completed phase 2 across the group of generalized anxiety disorder, which is a very strong disorder observed amongst 6% of the population. It's characterized by very high anxiety and some somatic manifestations. All the existing medications have lots of restrictions due to strong side effects. To assess efficacy of this drug for GAD patients, we carried out phase 2 for 2 cohorts, 40 mg a day and 60 mg a day, and assessed the efficacy based on standard scale scores. All the scores were very positive. The share of positive responders in this group was much higher than in the control group. So here we show the Hamilton Anxiety Scale improvement in control groups. The blue line is the placebo, and the black and red one show the tested AVN-101 drug. So we see that the therapy with this drug gives a very good improvement of the patient's condition after 8 weeks, dramatically reducing the anxiety. And here we show how this drug compares with the competitors. So here the improvement mean change HIS score was very, very good. And the first effects are observed in a matter of 2 first weeks, whereas for other drugs, it takes up to 4 weeks. After the 8th week, the condition of the patients continued improving. So So there is no withdrawal syndrome observed for AVN-101. For all other rating scales, we also observed a very strong improvement of the patient state. For various scores like CGI-I, CGI-S, and I would like to draw your attention to the change of the Hamilton Depression Rating Score. This drug besides not inducing any drowsiness, can reduce drowsiness among the patients. It has very low adverse events, very low number of those. The number of adverse events did not exceed that observed amongst the control group given placebo. The phase 2, the patient groups were given a dose of 40 milligrams a day. Today we observe quite a high demand for treating Alzheimer type dementia and the related symptoms. So here we show ADAS-Cog results, efficacy, and this is the main change in the ADAS-Cog scale from baseline to week 25. Here we compare the control group with the placebo group, and we see that the placebo patients of the period of 24 weeks suffered from the deteriorating state, whereas those patients who were given this drug have significantly improved their condition. So here we compare the results using the ADAS-Cog scale for AVN-101 and the key competitors in the market for the period from 1 to 24 weeks. For AVN-101, the difference versus placebo was 3.2, which is a very good result. Plus, we observe very good improvement of anxiety symptoms, which are quite regularly observed amongst patients with AD. So here we also see a very good improvement from the base state, from the baseline. The gray line was showing placebo, and the blue line was showing our drug. We also observed a very good improvement according to MMSE scale, which confirms our ADAS-Cog results. For the NPI scale, we have very good improvement for depression, anxiety, Samnic symptoms, subscales, and AVN-101 proved to be very, very effective for treating stress disorders of relatives who are looking after patients with AD. This subscale is very important for properly comparing this drug with the competitors, and the interesting fact is that there was no withdrawal syndrome.
Коллеги, добрый день. Еще раз.
Была какая-то небольшая заминка со связью.
Well, unfortunately, there was some technical problem with your connection. Just we lost 1 or 2 minutes. So you mentioned that AVN, when you gave AVN 101, the overall stress condition of the carers would improve.
Планируем начать в ближайшее время. Затем о болезни Альцгеймера. И мы очень надеемся, что результаты третьей...
So we plan to start the third phase for... the third phase in the nearest future, and we do hope that the third phase results would be at par with the results available so far. Thank you.